Welcome, everybody, for another episode of The Wealth Within. And today we are going to be talking about managing your debt. It's me, Irina Portnova, with John Brown Claxton. John, welcome.
Hey, Irina, so good to be here
Absolutely. So,
again.
again and again and again, right? And just bring more knowledge and awareness to everybody who's tuning in. And we just wanted to say great thank you to the audience that listening to all these episodes and making the wise decisions for themselves, because information is great when we take it in and we use it and we do something about it, right? Otherwise it just, it inspires us, but we do not do anything about it, and our life is constantly on the repeat.
The most important thing is that action is taken after you get the information, not just sit on it, but do something about it, because when you know better, you always do better. So we want to make
Absolutely.
sure that we're pretty much clear with the things we're sharing, and we're hoping that our audience is taking the advice and acting accordingly.
Yes. All right, so let's jump in about the topic for today. John, you were the one offering it, managing your debt, and obviously you're going to be talking from your experience, from your expertise, and I'm going to share from manifestation side of nature.
Awesome. And also, I just want to point out that I have a link there where a lot of activity is taking place to help families, individuals, whomever it is, manage their debt. You would be surprised to know the results we're getting. So don't be afraid to click on the link and get involved, because you have an issue with debt that this group can resolve. I'm not the one doing the work, but definitely I can point you in the right direction to get the help you need. So make use of that link, please.
Awesome. So let's just touch more on what does it mean to manage your debt? What is it?
Well, what does it mean? It means a lot of things, and depends on the perspective you take it from. For example, to manage your debt in one way means don't have any debt. That way, it's not much to manage because you have already done the work up front by avoiding it. However, if we look at it from the perspective of, yeah, you made a mistake, yeah, you had a need, yeah, somebody got you in trouble, and so now you have a debt, we want to make sure that you understand what it means to have that debt and how it affects you in a negative way most times, because you're not getting the kind of benefit that you should be getting from your money, but you're paying it out to someone because you have this debt on your hand. However you came by with it, right? So managing it means you understand what it means to have the debt, and you seek advice if you don't have the knowledge, to be able to handle it in a manner where you come out on the plus side. For example, if you have a debt and you keep paying, let's say credit card, for example, that's a good example, and you keep paying the minimum payments that the lender is suggesting that you pay. Yes, it might be convenient to pay that minimum, but with everything, there are repercussions. What do I mean? I mean, if you keep paying the minimum, it's going to take you almost forever to finish paying off that debt. And you may say, I don't understand. I had $100 debt, I paid $25, I'm supposed to have $75 balance. But look, my balance is more than $75. Of course it's more than $75, because you're paying interest on top of the money that you borrowed or you're in debt for. So as that money keeps accumulating, even though you keep paying the minimum, you're in more debt than what you started out with. So you have to be mindful of that. Now, on the manifestation side, using the example I gave, Irina, I'm not sure what your perspective is on an example such as that simple one that I offered just now.
Well, that's a great question. And obviously, we want to combine physical and energetic side of our nature and create the best life that we can. So we want to accept and understand that, okay, we have the debt, but it's not the end of the world. And you are offering your solution from your financial standpoint, and I'm offering my solution from manifestation standpoint, right? Saying that we can actually create the money, and we can actually manifest to pay off that debt, and not only pay off that debt, but we can manifest the abundance financial, or you call it financial freedom, whatever it is, right? Again, it's not our job to know how from manifestation point of view. Our job is to know what exactly we want and why we want it. So once we have the clarity of what we want, which would be living a debt-free life and have the financial abundance, right? And why you want it, because it gives you the freedom to enjoy the life and do things that you want to do, right? Because you are not gonna be constantly, like you mentioned, paying the interest, right? And the idea is that it is a process. It's not like, like with the switch of the flip of the switch, we right away jump on that vibrational frequency in order to attract exactly what we want, but it is possible. Again, manifestation work, it's all about what you believe in. If people just believe that they caught up with their circumstances, whatever it is, whatever their bank account reflects, whatever their current situation is, if they believe that this is their reality, they are gonna again manifest the same reality for themselves. But if people believe that they can shift their thoughts, and based on their mindset, they are gonna attract a different reality to themselves, then they will start see the opportunities where they haven't seen them before. And just to demonstrate a good example of that, we have this reticular activation system. It's the system like a filter in our brain that filters the thoughts that we have, because we have multiple thoughts throughout the day, and our brain cannot actually keep all these thoughts in our awareness. So reticular activation system actually acts as a filter to filter what's important to us. That's why we have to ask the right questions, like what does it really do for me, right? Why do I want what I want? Because from that point on, it's going to filter that as your importance, and then you're going to see things that actually move you in that direction in order to receive the answers that you want to receive. And just think about yourself. Whenever you went to shop for the car or to lease the car, right? You go into the dealership, and let's say it was a Mercedes, right? You go into the Mercedes dealership and you test drive white Mercedes. You're sitting in there. I don't, like I'm not good with the models, but just like for example, right?
Right.
You test the white Mercedes and you are in love with it. You like the smell of the leather. You like how it's smooth and everything. So then you get out of this dealership and you said to the dealer, you said, you know what, let me sleep on it and see if this is something that I want, right? So the next thing, once you get on the highway, all of a sudden you see one white Mercedes, then another white Mercedes, then the third. And it's not that they just come in, like they were not there on the road. They were always there on the road, but they were not in your awareness. So the reticular activation system wouldn't just, put these signals into your brain in order to notice. But now, since you had that experience and since you direct your thinking in that direction, now you're gonna see more of these cars. So the same thing, like once we talk about a debt-free life, once we start pondering and asking the right questions, and obviously I teach people how to create the vision for it and how to work with that vision, because it's a daily process, then we can actually have everything what we want. So this is my part of the contribution to that topic.
And to go back to the very simple example that I mentioned, and to weave what you're saying into it, I just want to share a personal experience. When I was in my 30s, which was a long time ago, I had a credit card debt. And I noticed when I was paying that credit card debt off, or I thought I was, at that time, I didn't understand why the balance was getting larger, even though I'm paying what the bank asked me to pay. And just about that time, the government got involved and to tell the credit card companies that they need to put the information on the statements to say, if you pay this much, this is how long it's going to take. If you pay that much, this is how long it's going to take. And I'm saying to myself, really? So all this time I'm paying this debt and it's still adding more onto it, and this is what I'd have to do instead? Oh my goodness. Did I make use of the opportunity? In less than no time, I paid off that debt, because I'm saying, no way I'm going to be paying that much more than I borrowed to begin with. Now, if you have a need, as Irina mentioned, and you want to get a car, and this is the type of car you want, absolutely nothing wrong with getting the car, but be mindful that the rate of interest matters. So you want to shop around to get a rate that you believe you can afford to handle, so that you can pay off the debt faster rather than drag it out because you have this high interest rate to pay. The bill keeps adding up and you keep paying that much more for the car than you need to. Because early repayment, as far as I know, there is no penalty for early repayment. But you would have avoided all that accumulating interest. Now, that's one side of the coin. If you have multiple debts and you have large interest rates and low interest rates, one good example of managing your debt is to try and pay off the large interest rate first, because that is where your money is really going down the drain on those large interest rate payments. Remember, we talked about the rule of 72 before. And the rule of 72 says how often or in what period of time your money doubles. So if you have an interest rate of, say, 12%, and you take 72 and divide it by 12, you're going to get 6. That's how many years it's going to take for your money to double. So if you have a debt,
I think, John, you are frozen. So,
the voice is going to still go on because it happened before.
okay, now we can hear you and we can
Yeah.
see you moving.
So if it takes those 6 years to pay off that debt, that's how much your money is going to double in 6 years. What if you had that same money that you're paying the interest on in the bank, and you're getting 12%? It's still going to take you 6 years for your money to double. Would you prefer the money to be doubled in your account where you get the benefit of it? Or do you want to pay a debt where you're paying that much more out to somebody else. The rule of 72 says those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't understand it, pay it.
Okay, I think John is frozen again.
That's
But
fine. The audio
yeah,
will be there. The audio
yes,
will be
you
there after
yes,
before.
yes.
So the point I'm making is there are rules to how money works. And in knowing how money works, it helps you to manage your debt better. Now, there are different strategies other than the two that I've spoken about that can help you to manage your debt. And that's where that link comes in, where the experts are to give you guidance. Whether you have student loan, credit card debt, as long as it is a debt that is not being treated as collateral, or the debt is not for something that's going to be used for collateral, you can get the help you need to manage that debt from that link.
Awesome. And I'm just gonna add one last thing, that that is something that, everybody looks at it differently, right? But again, it's just not to scare you with whatever we are sharing, but to inspire you. If you really want to understand how you can actually attract anything what you desire, please join the Supercharge Your Manifesting Powers event, the workshop. Actually, it's the series where you would receive the emails every day, 1 hour a day. Two experts are going to share how they manifested something in their life from their personal experience. And also, they are going to share the tools and tips for you to start doing this work in order to see different results. Join. There is a link in the comments, and we'll make it more happening in our world, and we are gonna live much better, easy life, knowing that we can be abundant in all areas of our life.
And regarding that link, I have clicked on it. I have watched some of the speakers, and believe you me, there is benefit to be gained because they have a wealth of personal knowledge that they're sharing. So you're doing a great job in offering these speakers to us to learn more about what they can do in their own lives to benefit from the manifestation perspective of life.
Thank you so much. Danny Lindsay commented. He said it's informative. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and tune in for more episodes that are coming your way. And remember, if there is a problem, there is always a solution. But
Hey,
it's all
Danny.
about, yes, hey. So it's all about asking the right questions, right? And not just staying alone, because you do not have to be alone. We are all in this together. There is a lot of help. All it takes is just to ask, and you are going to be given the answer. All the best, and see you on the next episode.